Any business owner will tell you that if you decide that you will sell baked products, first, you ought to select a target market of the types of customers you like to sell your products to. Secondly, it is important to select a location you like to concentrate and sell your products in. And of course, identify the products you would specifically like to have in your menu. Meet Regina, a 25-year-old Ugandan lady who chose to permanently relocate to Kenya and start her own business in the baking realm that started out as a hobby, now turned into a career, making her Bachelor of Science in Management Information Systems almost so irrelevant.
I went to Daystar University and I studied Management Information Systems. Graduated in 2013, yeah? Sometimes I forget when I graduated. And then 3 years ago, actually, when I was looking for a job, I had moved back to Uganda because I had finished school and I thought it would be easier to get a job in Uganda. So I went home and looked for a job, which didn't come. And then I decided to start a business, yeah, which was the baking. But then at that time, it was more of just making a little pocket money as settling back home because it had been such a long time. Then as the job thingy wasn't working out, I decided to apply in Kenya since I'd been here for such a long time. We had the interview, the job went well, we started with training and everything was going smoothly. And funny thing is I loved the job, but deep down, you know, I think I could hear flour mixing, like you need to be doing something better. When I started the business, I was still working and I was actually talking to my fiance, who was at that time my boyfriend. He was telling me, by the way, this cake business has a great potential. And for me, knowing the top guys in the market, I felt a bit small. I'm like, people will be like, who's this Gina? What is that, you know? And I think with him, he also helped me now last year be able to quit my job. So when we started the company, it was really small. It was, you hear a friend, there's a party, can I bring cake? You know? And I think that's how we managed to get our brand out there.
Regina's career is firmly rooted on the understanding that life is short and that if there was ever a moment to follow your passion and do something that matters to you, that moment is now.
My source of motivation was actually my aunt. As we used to go visit her, she used to bake. She has this really amazing fruit cake. I used to see the different cookbooks around that she has because I wasn't allowed in the kitchen. You know, you're a kid, what do you know? And through that, I used to go through the books and I'm just seeing, wow, you can make a cake you can make a car out of a cake, you can make a book, a house, you know, all the 3D creations. And I think with that, seeing her all the time, because she had work and she was, you know, being paid very well, but she would come home and still bake. And I think deep down, I knew I was also interested. So I would go out and tell her, can I do the pans? Because mixing the flour, that was no goes on. So I think the more I helped, the more I was inspired. And I think from that time, I knew that I wanted to bake.
Warren Buffett says, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. From grace to grace, let's have a listen to what Regina put into her business so as to get where she is now.
It started from a point of saving money to eat. That's when I was in school. But then I think I was doing some business in school. But then as the money kept on coming, I think it was too much to eat, yeah? So I decided, let me invest in, actually, the cake thing. And that time I didn't have the skill because I used to watch a lot of Food Network, but when it comes to the kitchen part, you know, what they show on TV and what I've actually created is completely different. So my friend has a sister who bakes, and that time she has a school. So I decided after school, I'll just go and take some classes, and I did. did the advanced, the basic and advanced, and that has actually helped me get the basics to come up with my own creations and get creative with just the basics that I have. My startup capital was around 5,000 shillings. I decided to buy a hand mixer. I bought a few pans and pretty much like the basic equipment, one nozzle, one piping bag, like one of each. If someone says, I need a cake, I'm like, okay, this and this is going to help me create a cake. The more people used to come for cake, like if someone wants a love heart cake, you know, in that shape, I'll use the money they're going to pay to buy the ingredients and also the tin. So that way, I'm not eating profit. It's okay. I know my equipment is increasing over and over again. And with time, I have actually been, I think also because the time I was also working, it was easier to balance. And then I've actually seen the business grow from one order to maybe 10 orders per month. And then you think, okay, 10 orders per month is actually good.
One of the marketing strategies Regina has opted to indulge in is by going the extra step and calling clientele for feedback.
For marketing, I use social media. We have a page on Instagram, Facebook, and right now our website is actually under development. And also word of mouth. Most times it's actually worked, you know, and referrals. Our clients normally refer their friends and relatives back to us because they like what we give them. Actually, before we post the different cakes we've done on the pages, we normally get feedback from the client because you don't want to overrate this cake and the client is like, this cake looks nice, but woo, to the mouth. It wasn't the best.
For such a business, the target audience is not set to a particular choice of demographics but is based on a more general audience.
Considering the business that I'm in right now, I think I target everybody. So I do cakes for bridal showers, birthday parties for kids, grown-ups, and wedding cakes, corporate cakes as well. So novelty cakes, whereby if somebody wants a minion, which is very common lately, we'll do it for you. So every time, like I'm always eager, when they get the box, I'm always telling them, please make sure you tell me how the cake is, whether it's good, whether it's bad, anything I should add, like just go all out on the feedback. And the good thing is they've actually been honest with me.
Many experts agree that passion and trust are perhaps two of the most important elements of a harmonious, synergistic and efficient work environment. A business that has trust amongst passionate employees is usually successful.
Employees right now are pretty much part-time because I currently work from home and we're not always busy. So when I know, because orders come in advance, so if I know Friday to Saturday I'm going to be very busy and I know there's maybe fondant cakes, this kind of cakes, I always call upon my friends I have two of them who are the part-time employees. So they come and they help out with the baking. I just supervise it because deco right now is just me. But then for them, I normally just show them videos. When I'm decorating the cakes, they're just around to see how the piping is done. And then the remaining cream, they just go around and play with it like little kids. Because I think that's how you learn. It's better when you practice as compared to looking. When they're not here, I normally call them up for cupcakes. I think I used to do that when they had just started and they used to be very rare, like coming here. But nowadays, since they're always here, we normally sit down and just have tea with cake, you know? And then also at the end of the day, depending on the different orders that have gone out, on a good day, if there's no damaged cake, I normally give them commission so that the next time they come, they're like, hey, I know, I'm gonna make some money, yeah.
Every business faces its own challenges, and Regina's cake business is not any special. She says that this has helped her to identify where she wants to be and strive to aim higher.
The challenges I'm currently facing are delivery, because I have a rider, but sometimes, let's say all the time, he's unreliable, even if I book a day in advance. So sometimes I call my cab guy and he takes the cakes just to have the client receive their cake on time. And then also working from home because you're in your own space. So if you're having a busy day, you work through the night, and then the next day you'll sleep. And then also, because you're your own boss, so you wake up at your own time, depending on the schedule you're having, pretty much. And then my oven is a bit small, and then the orders are just so many. So baking becomes a problem because at most I can put 2 cakes if they're big.
For you to run a successful business, you need to be humble enough to know that you are not any different, but your strategy is what aids you to stand out from the rest. And when Regina is asked of any future plans to expand,
I do have some plans because currently our clients are asking us if we offer classes, and we don't because I work from home. I can't bring everybody to my house, you know. So next month we're actually getting a business premise where we'll start having the classes, at least be able to tackle the different demand that's coming from our clients.
the bakery industry is quite diverse, and as an entrepreneur seeking to dive into this business, you ought to look out for your clientele, identify the need in the market, and strategize on how you will be able to sufficiently supply the demand. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. Regina admits that she still has a long way to go for her business to see the maximum potential of her efforts and skills, but she knows patience is one of the requirements for this transition.
Entrepreneurship to me means taking a risk. Most of us have hobbies. So if you have a hobby and you can turn it into profit, you can ditch the job and get into entrepreneurship. Be very patient because the art of baking takes time. You know, you can see something on the TV and you're like, I'm going to do that. But when you get to your kitchen, it comes out very different, you know? So patience and practice. And also for the business, I think passion. You know, when you love doing something, it doesn't matter if you're making 100 shillings as profit, because that, with time, you're able to make double or triple that amount. So if you would want to start the cake business, get the skill so that you're able to give quality to your customers, because customers will come, you'll be overwhelmed, you'll be shocked, you know? And also with this kind of business, you have to be very strong, I would say, because sometimes with a lot of standing, there's so many orders coming through, and if you're baking from home like me, you feel overwhelmed.
As Newland Bushnell would have it, a true entrepreneur is a doer and not a dreamer.
For me, success is if you're providing a service and the person you've provided the service to is happy and they've got no complaint, I think that's success to me, because every cake that goes out and the client actually even texts me, like, oh my God, Gina, what are you made of? The cake was awesome. I'm like, thank God. Yet I know in my kitchen I have like 10 cakes I have to throw away because they backfired. So for me, it's making the client happy, and then the rest will follow.